always, certainly, this department is behind anything innovative and cultural exchange involved. Yet another initiative. Tell us about the play or the role of Parks, Recreation and Culture in this initiative, and what was it about, and is it its first or will it be the last?
As you can see, I'm standing next to very beautiful young people here who come all the way from the UK, who came to join us here in South Africa and as Durbanites to share their life experiences. You know, we as a developing nation are faced with a number of very basic problems that some of them they never even think about in their own country because of the level of economic and social development. So here in South Africa, our young people are faced by a number of problems that really make them to despair and not to have hope for the future. So what this program then does is to bring all of them in the same room, share life together for at least 3 months, so that we make the young people from the UK exposed to the social and economic conditions in our country, and at the same time expose our own young people to what the future may hold for them in case they stand and fight for themselves to improve their lives. So given that these young people from the UK have the skills that some of our young people here may not necessarily have, so it gives them therefore an opportunity to share experiences. So this program is not necessarily the first and is not going to be the last. So we do always have groups of young people that will come in here. So this is another group of young people that came in here. And from what we built with this organization, Zoe Live, I am hoping that next year we are again going to be inviting another group of young people. It's a program that gets funded from the UK, so their travel, their expenses whilst living here in South Africa to taken care of. But also we as Durbanites then become responsible for their safety and to make them feel at home, and also to allow them to learn from us and become basically part of us.
Can you just take us through to the program itinerary? What is it about? What does it entail? The 3 months. So if you say 3 months, it's ending today, and this is still November. So I would imagine that takes us to September. So does that say? And what are the current What are the programs within it that take place within a stretch of 3 months? And tell us about HIV and AIDS. 16 days of activism. This is the period that they're at, and they're still in the country. Was that part of the program?
Oh yes, definitely. For instance, if you were to look into one of the biggest problems that we have is the manner in which we mismanage our own environment. People seem to be alienated from their environment. They seem to think that somebody else must take care of it. So that's why you have so many dumping sites, more especially in the area where they were based in Chesterville and its extended areas around. So these young people were involved in the cleanup of those dumping sites and cause young people in those areas to begin to appreciate the environment and also know that if this were to be solved, young people have to be at the side of that. And then secondly, what I would call your social and wellness issues, which would include HIV and AIDS. So we are saying HIV and AIDS can only be defeated if young people themselves take ownership and be aware as to what situations they should not be exposing themselves to, and if they find them in those situations, what they should actually be doing. So that is about self-empowerment. Therefore, negotiations with your peers. You should not be allowing yourself to be manipulated by what other people think of your age group or those that are older than you. So then these young people were involved in such discussions of empowering and empowerment among young people in those areas. So yes, they are here today. They are living on Saturday. They've been introduced into our own concept of 16 days of activism. As you know, all around the world, women and especially young children are at the base of those of us who are powerful in the societies. So this program is about the protection of these young people and also women. So these guys are also participating, have been participating in those programs, because once you provide skills to young people as to how to behave and also manage themselves and relate to other people, in that sense, you can't be abused if you are empowered, because you are were then able to stand and talk for yourselves. Then there were also your cultural programs. As you know, that South Africa is gifted with young people, lots of talents, but what we don't have is the guidance and management of such talents and its exposure. So with these young people who were there, firstly, our young people got a platform to expose their talents so that these guys became the consumers of what was being given to them. But at the same time, coming from where they come from, where some of the things that we don't have are taken for granted. For instance, the presence of the youth centers, the presence of structures and the personnel that can help guide the talent of young people. So that is what they brought in here, and that is what we learned from that. So it's a very whole empowering program that shares skills, life experiences, and empowerment of an individual.
Nicely explained. Certainly are looking very united with Zoe Life over here. I'm very familiar with Zoe Life. So tell me about if the program that Mr. Ngobo just spoke about now, is it true, and what did you actually learn from that program? So can you elaborate for us?
Okay, well, I'd say that it is true, because we just like been recently got connected with them and got you work out with what they have in the program and stuff. So we helped with the holiday club and everything, and we had a workshop run to help the community about TV writing and everything. So it was a good experience and stuff.
Thank you. My sister, speak to us.
Pardon, what is the question again?
The question is, Mr. Ngobo has elaborated for us quite well enough on behalf of Parks, Recreation and Culture as to what the program entailed, but you represent Zoe Life. So is that what you learned? Do you echo his views or his standpoint and what he believes you might have learned?
Yes, I definitely echo his views, because we've learned a lot of things in Chesterville, and how we can help people and how they can help us grow, and also how we can be proper role models to the youth and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You are ladies, and this is an HIV month that we're embarking into. Zoe Life very much deals with HIV. It's probably one of the biggest areas of specialist. Speak to us about what you identified as the common challenges between the United Kingdom and their challenge with HIV, with the epidemic, and South Africa. Who wants to go first? Give us your name and surname as well for the record, so we can tag the name. Yeah.
I'm Leanne Jones, and I think the biggest challenge is making sure that there's enough education. I think that's the main thing, and awareness as well. And I think when with both countries, as long as the youth are understanding about what the causes are and how to prevent HIV, I think that's the main area of kind of where we have that similarities there, of making sure that everyone is aware of what the causes are, how it affects us, and also the ways of reducing something that's very much inevitable, avoidable, that's the word, avoidable. So that's the main thing that I think I've noticed here. If you guys want to elaborate.
My name is Zoe Boyce. I agree. It's something that's very similar, that it's the education that the people have and the knowledge that they have, and that making sure it's not mixed up with the cultural views as well, and kind of making sure the message is across and they're given the facts and everything they need to know before, as soon as possible, really. So for starting with the youth and the children, and that will enable a better future.
I totally agree. I think the main thing is prevention. So if everyone gets taught about prevention, it can only go up from that time in a positive way. So I think that's one thing that we've noticed, and that comes from education, 100%.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say is making sure that the services are available and people know of those services as well. So such as Zoe Life, they're known now for support for young children as well, who are dealing with HIV. So yeah, it's making sure that people around that know what they're doing, and they're getting the support that they need.
You guys are so awesome and certainly informed. I think it was a good investment that you came here. You are definitely a good choice, good advocacy. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.